activity.
Hey, Samantha, I'm seeing your chat. Sometimes if you're having connection challenges, it helps if you turn camera off. But if you also are struggling, it may help if you disconnect and call back and reconnect. Sometimes 2, 3 times is a charm with Zoom. That's what we found. So you might try that.
We're glad you all have joined us. We are going to actually get started here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to leave everybody muted. If you have a question, just go ahead and pop it in the chat. We'll be glad to answer those. And I hope that you find as much enjoyment out of this as we have. We're pretty excited about this. We are recording this session, so it will be available.
And if any of you are foster parents, foster families, we did get approval for education hours for all of the sessions. So you could potentially get a total of 6 hours of training. And if you need that, we are glad to send a certificate. We'll just need you to put that in the chat box.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to introduce you to Terry Kinder. She is with Oklahoma Family Network, if you have not met her. And we're going to be talking about Hope Rings today. So, Terry?
How are you guys today? I just want to let you guys know this is I'm going to scoot my so you guys aren't zoomed in like right here. I just want to let everybody know that this is very informal. You can leave something in the chat box. If we don't see it right away, there's a feature down on the bottom of the chat box where you can raise your hand. Feel free to do that. Or actually, it's in the reactions. Feel free to do that and we'll see it pop up on your picture. It should queue. But this is not a training. I don't want it to feel like a training. We don't want it to feel like you guys are here because you have to be. This is going to be a fun activity and hopefully you could actually get some use out of it and you guys would enjoy doing this or even show somebody else how to do it. So I am going to start sharing my screen really quick because I do have a short presentation, even though it's not a training. So okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is Hope Rings? A Hope Ring is, this is a personal and tangible way to document a family journey, to capture your personal thoughts. It's basically a mini scrapbook that is on a binder ring. And the thought process behind it is to represent support, encouragement, and memories. And, you know, a lot of times nowadays, everybody has everything on their phone. Your pictures are on your phone, all of your memories are documented on your phone, but you can't touch it. I have old pictures, I have to dig for them on my phone. This is something you can keep it somewhere personal, and they are for all types of different events. So the content that goes into a hope ring can be anything, and it can represent anything. Just for instance, we can add some of the things that are listed on the page, like scriptures. You could put your favorite quote that is that's relevant to the journey that is going on with your hope ring, like what your hope ring represents. Personal photos, notes from loved ones, or you can write a note to yourself to remember something that had happened. Different colored ribbons or patterns that represent something, and documentation of life events. A hope ring is a documentation of time, and it's basically a journal of a journey to help you in a crisis, or it can represent anything that you need. I'm currently, Marcia, the girl who started the Hope Rings, she made the comment to me the other day about doing a senior Hope Ring. And that's something, I'm terrible at scrapbooking. I never got into it. I'm not good at crafting. So, but I can do this. I can note basketball games, you know, how many baskets she made at a basketball game, where, you know, senior night, put pictures from senior night, first day of school, first softball game. And those are all documented. They're not yet. They will be all documented in my senior Hope Ring. So it could be a memory for an aging family member or a friend, with photos, with names, memories. These can be used as bereavement support, a documentation of a life event that happened that's traumatic, but yet it's full of hope and something that you never want to forget. These can be very therapeutic, and they can be what you want them to be, because it's nothing that you have to put together on these to make it. We want them to be your own, and you can make it as personal or as professional looking as you want, because so this is, I've got this ribbon that I got for my Hope Ring, because we are the Tigers. So this will be on my senior keychain, or my senior Hope Ring, I'm sorry. To be able to, just document these little memories for myself. And for you, this won't mean anything to Jesse. This won't mean anything to Amy. This is simply for me. And this is my journey through my daughter's senior year. And this is going to be something that I will remember, that I put together, that I can flip through, but it's not going to be important to anybody else. So make sure that you don't worry about, don't worry about anything as far as what you think it should look like, or how you think that it should be put together. It's your personal journey, and we're just going to give you a few little tools to be able to put those together however you feel that it would benefit you. So you should have anybody who registered by Friday should have received a package, and the package should include some of the Hope Ring materials. So the Hope Ring, it has, and these are Marcia's words, and I kind of, was talking about my Hope Ring. but the hope ring has so many moving parts and they're so easily adjusted for your specific needs. It's just a tool that leaves you specifically modify for your situation or your circumstances. A journal of a journey that is small enough to tuck into your bag, your purse, bedside table, sorry, or leave it out to share with others. Your ring of hope to be close to you or shared. It's your personal journey. So the main thing is that you make it personal and that you make it for you, and that it's something that that you're making that it's something that you can look back on and benefit you later. Or to, I know that we have a lot of families on here, some families, a NICU family, sometimes it's really hard to go back and remember how far you've come from the NICU, or maybe even not the NICU. My son wasn't in the NICU, but we were in children's for 8 months. And sometimes I forget that, sometimes I forget how far we came and what all we went through in order to get where we are today. And that's big. And to be able to look back and see, where we came from, and maybe like things people did for us. It could be as simple as, what, I remember when so-and-so brought me pizza and a Bible study, or, a notebook to the hospital, or somebody came and seen us. One thing that my family always did was when I live in Southwest Oklahoma, so it was almost 2 hours for anybody to come see us at Children's. So most of the time we would only get visitors on the weekends. Well, I have all these pictures, and so that's one thing that we can do with those pictures too, to just remember, to be able to go back and remember that journey, because 10 years from now, it's not going to seem like it's as big of a deal as it is at the present time. So it's just something that you can look back on, and it's basically, it's an accomplishment for your family. It's milestones and things that you've gotten through together. So this is a great way to journal it. And I'm going really fast, and I apologize for that, because I'm at the end. But I would love for maybe some of the other ladies that have done the hope rings, I am going to put you on the spot, to maybe share a story or something that you have done that how you've used the hope ring. Is there any volunteers of any of the ladies that?
Yeah, for us, we have been able to use it for things that were like times that were really difficult for us. So maybe a struggle that we were having, or a concern that I was having, and I wasn't really for sure what the outcome would be. But I could go back and I might write on my hope ring, struggling with seizures a lot lately, or not able to, this medication isn't working, or I'm very stressed about this. And on the back, later I was able to go back and write something positive about, we were able to get the medication changed, or his CBD oil actually did start helping after so many weeks. So for me, the biggest thing for me to stress on this is it's so personal. Someone can't just hand you something and tell you this means something to you, but it has to be something that's personal for you, that you choose, that you incorporate in that. And, it's also a really great way, maybe if you've got a child that has a struggle too, that you guys could do together. Because sometimes when the focus is on the project, it's kind of the focus is taken off all of the overwhelming issues that might be lingering. So it gives you both some common goal to be able to work on together. And I think it could be a family hope ring. That could It doesn't have to be just your personal one. It could be something that's unique to your family.
And I think the great thing about these are, you know, when scrapbooking back in the 90s, when it was a big deal, I mean, it was an expensive hobby. It was something, I mean, those sheets, they still have them at Hobby Lobby, and I'll go get them for stickers for crafts for my kids or something. And it's $4 or $5 a sheet. You guys can get a pack of these rings for like $2 for like 10 or 15 of these rings if you want more than one. Ribbon, at least once a month, Hobby Lobby has a 50% off ribbon sale. I mean, if not, I'm sure everybody has some kind of a craft drawer, craft closet, something. And I mean, this is something that you can just create that's personal, that's just for you. And it does take a little time, but you know, Marcia puts it so great when she says it's all about intentional thoughts. Because if it's something that means something to you now, or something that you can, you know, like Amy said, it's something that take the thought off of what's going on, sit down and do one of these. Because if I would have had something like this to look back, I mean, I say my husband, my son was in the hospital, but he'll be 20 next month. That's so hard that was 16 years ago. So if I would have had something like that to look back, I mean, it's very unreal to think now, everything that we went through then. And, you know, you guys, if you guys do have kids, you know, you don't remember all those sleepless nights when you first came home from the hospital. You don't remember those in 10 years. I mean, you might remember one or two, but you don't remember all of them and all the little milestones that you crossed. So this is a great way to be able to personalize that. And I mean, put your own quotes on them. My kids laugh at me because my favorite quote is by Will Rogers. And I will be putting this on my daughter's senior hope ring, because she needs to hear it more than anybody. And it's never miss a chance to shut up. Never miss a good chance to shut up. I think that's what it is. But I send it to her every time I see it. And just, I mean, to be funny, but you know, to be real, because she is a teenager. So anyways, but
Yes, Terry, if I could interrupt for a second, I know
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
comment that was in the chat that Stephanie had shared. She had said she loved the NICU idea. She said her
Mhm.
twins were only there 9 days, but it would have been neat to document their accomplishments each day. I am a mother of a preemie, and so I think about that would be cool to kind of have started that when kind of from the beginning and to now, and just kind of monitor the development. So I love those ideas.
And you know, Tamara is actually on the call, and she said she didn't want to speak because she told me I was on my own when I told her that she could speak up if she wanted to, but I am calling you out on that. She actually does these with families in the NICU to help them document their journey, and she does kind of a one-on-one training with them before COVID. So she does that, and she does a wonderful job at that. And she actually did one for us, for our staff, over a Zoom call. So, you know, we can do them for so many different ways. I mean, starting school, you know, I thought about when I was looking over this last night and thinking, you know, all the different possibilities. And Marcia and I were talking the other day. She said during COVID, I mean, you could even have a COVID hope ring for the families that are in the hospital right now, that are having, you know, that have that can't have any visitors. You could do a picture on one side and a note on the other side from every member in the family. You know, if you could get those together, or even do them from a church, you know, you could do, you know, we're thinking about you, we're praying for you. I mean, can you imagine having something like this to look back on after you've, you know, come through COVID, if you've been hospitalized? And, you know, when somebody's in the hospital, that's such a big deal for you to go and support them. I mean, that's a big part of them being able to recuperate, is getting the support and the emotional support. a really good friend of mine, she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer several years ago. And I mean, she's family to me, I feel like. And when we were talking about, when I was driving her to her appointments and stuff, she told me, she said, I never knew it, but my doctor told me that 80% of my recovery and 80% of me getting through this is mentally. And, you can't get through something like that by yourself. So you have to have support. And to think about all those people that are in the hospital right now and in the nursing homes that can't have visitors. I mean, this is support. And unfortunately, right now, either this Zoom or FaceTime, that's about all the support you can get without or unless you're just sending gifts and things. But this is something that somebody can hold on to. And me personally, I have every handwritten note that was ever given to me by my grandmother. My grandmother was precious to me. So I might not have text from everybody, but I sure have every handwritten note that anybody has ever given me. So to be able to do this for someone else or for somebody to do this for you, these are precious memories. And it's something that you can't let go, or that you won't let go. This is something that you would always hang on to. So.
And Terry, I
think it
think
was-
even children, even pretty young children could do these. One of the things that we did when my kids were younger is if they did a craft at school, like a cute turkey using their hands or their feet or something like that, I would take photographs of them and then save them in their photo albums. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
could do that, like for each school year, you could have a hope ring so that it had pictures of their crafts. And then, my kids always had funny, we would call them Christopher isms or Ellen isms. Ellen always said she needed her privacy, and that's kind of a family, joke. It's kind of fun. Just remembered that. And Christopher called a bathtub a tub, so a photograph of him in the bathtub on one side and then one of his cute little isms, that he said on the other. But I think it'd be kind of fun for kids that if they actually put them together themselves so that, especially this year, when people are so isolated, children are, the adults are, and at least it's a way they could say, okay, this month in school I did this, and maybe do they could even take a photograph of themselves on the Zoom, if they had a neat event for Thanksgiving or for the holiday break or
yeah.
that sort of thing. But I think anytime kids or adults have a chance to write down or do something that's kind of tied to journaling, if you will, because I really see this as sort of a journaling, it can be really good. I know that was one of the greatest ways that my daughter, could calm herself when she was like middle school and high school, when kids can get real anxious, is she would journal. But some kids would rather do it in a creative way like this. The ribbons, I think, make it look really neat. But you could do the ribbons in the child's favorite color or your favorite color. You could use, if they are engaged in, for instance, a mental health awareness event, you could put a green ribbon and that would remind them that they did some sort of activity around that. But I think there's just so many ways that we can use these. Yeah, and Kim attach it to their backpack. So when they do get to go to school, they've got that reminder of all the good things that have happened, just in the past weeks or months.
And I think it's important to remind our kids that, this is not anything that anybody has ever been through before. So it's something we're kind of adapting and learning this together. So, I mean, I think this is the perfect tool for isolation, I mean, for the people doing it and the one receiving it, if it's being given to somebody. So, Amy, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking.
Zach my son had a brain aneurysm, and all of the members of his basketball team wrote notes to him of encouragement on index cards, and they gave them all to him on a ring. Well, we didn't call it a hope ring, but it was a hope ring. And I would find him going through those when he couldn't be at school and he had to be homebound, and he was reading through those messages. I mean, as we were talking today, I thought, you know what, that really was a hope ring because it really brought him encouragement. And so I think that's just another thing, to know it, you may already have something that you might like to, recreate into this as to capture those memories. But I do remember Zach going through all those index cards from all of his teammates that he couldn't be playing ball. And that's so hard when you've got a kiddo that wants to be doing something and they can't. So this was just a way for him to get some encouragement.
That's great. That's a great example.
Yeah, Amy, you could add the colors, the school colors, UConn sweat red and white, or, you could add ribbons of the school colors.
Basketball ribbon or
And
some
then
school
basketball ribbon.
colors or, yeah.
And if for some reason one of you didn't get, it was a white envelope. Jesse Barnett helped us put 200 of those together because we're doing this session several times. But if there's a white envelope in your packet and inside of that envelope has the Hope Ring items. And we just I think she put a couple of ribbons and a card that has a saying. But, a lot of us have a favorite saying that means a lot to us, or I have a handwritten note that my grandfather wrote me when I was in high school, and I still have it. I could take a picture of that and print it and put it on a Hope Ring. I hadn't really thought about that until just now when Amy made those comments. But Terry, why don't we open it up and just see if other people have ideas, because I think we could learn from them.
Yeah.
We might use this tool.
I think that's
Would
a
anyone
great
like
idea.
to share an idea? We don't mind if you speak up.
Yeah, we want this to be interactive. Like I said, it's not, this is more of a something that you guys can give us ideas as much as we're giving you ideas, and it'll share with the rest of the group as well.
Terry, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Yes, I was thinking about the families. I work also with families who, of course I work with you. But I'm thinking about that mom that thinks that she's not doing a good job, and we see that they're doing the best they can the most part, and just encourage, like rings of encouragement, and see, kind of like highlight their the strengths and in what they are able to support their child, because sometimes as a parents we feel that is not enough, we're not doing a good job, and especially in this time that we have to cancel sometimes therapies and stuff like that they are that they are care, and that we care about them, and we see their strengths and highlight some of their strengths while they're trying to support their child.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Does anybody else have any ideas or anything?
Terry, this is Erin. Hi. And I was
Hi.
thinking that, with Taylor just been in the hospital, I was thinking what might even be neat is like the nurses that we really connected with, like writing a note. That was the first thing I said, it's like they could write a note and say, you've got this, just because we're, when you come home, sometimes you have things like we have the feeding tube and stuff, but how great would that be or our doctor saying, Taylor, remember you can do this, listen to your mom, because I'm always threatening do you want me to call the doctor, do you want me to call the nurse? But use those positively, and hey, look, remember Nurse Valerie said she really knows you can do this, you were so good for her. So anyways, that was my mind thinking as guys were talking about that.
That's an awesome idea. And I mean, who doesn't have access to a pack of index cards? You guys can buy them at the Dollar Tree, and they even come in multiple colors. So I always keep them in my glove box just in case I need to write a note to in case I need a note for something, I'm not writing on the back of a bill or something that's in my car. So,
Hey, Terry, just in case there are individuals on here today that aren't familiar with OFN, do you want to share a little bit about how we support families?
yes, and I am. hold on just a second. Well, I was fixing to say, I have an OFN overview slide, but I don't have one on my computer right now. Let me stop. So I am in Southwest Oklahoma, and we help families who have children with any kind of disabilities, special needs, including mental illness, behavioral health, any kind of diagnosis that relates to that. And we have support partners that are in the hospitals, that we have NICU support. We have Hispanic support families that support families that don't speak English. We have families that, sorry, we have support parents that are all over the state of Oklahoma. I'm drawing a blank right now. Amy, help me out. I don't have anything written down. I was just trying to.
Yeah, Oklahoma Family Network, we're statewide, and one of the main things that we do is match families with other families for emotional support. So if you're going through whatever, if you've got a child who, like one of our staff just mentioned, a feeding tube. So if you've got a kiddo who has just gotten on a feeding tube and that's really a stressor for you, and you'd like to visit with another family, we've got them, and we've got staff. And one of the really unique things about Oklahoma Family Network is everyone who works for us is also a parent of a child with a special health care need or disability. We even have parents who have lost kids. So bereavement is a part. Unfortunately, we can't do this work effectively because we are here for the life cycle. So, we do lose our kids. And so that is something that, we really find very important. I went to a training a long time ago when I first started a national conference and looked at Joni and said, how do they do this without doing bereavement for families? And she said, some don't, but OFN does. And for that, I'm very grateful. If you've got a family who's, going through, maybe getting ready to start a therapy, and you just really want to talk with another mom or something you don't expect, we're there for that, or new diagnosis of any kind. So it's not just behavioral health. We are here for all different kinds of things. That behavioral health is a main one, but we really do want to be able to help families. And not only families, we are also here for the professionals that we serve, that serve our kids too. And so we love to partner with I see Kelly Lingo, love Kelly Lingo. We've been together and talked about ways that we can reach out to our community, and we really want to be able to do that. With schools and physicians and training, and so OFN is pretty far-reaching as far as lots of the things that we do. But if you have any questions, we would love to talk with you individually. So please reach out to us. We would love to be able to connect with you and answer any specific questions that you have, and see how that we could actually support you in the areas that you have with your kiddos. We also have access to a statewide, a nationwide database through Oklahoma Family Network. And so that if you've got a diagnosis that maybe we don't have a supporting parent for, we can reach out in that direction as well.
So one of the other things that I just kind of went blank there for a minute. Thank you, Amy. So one of the things that I was going to say when Amy was talking was, she said that we love to partner. This retreat that you're at right now is a result of that. We're partnering with Parents Helping Parents, with the Department of Mental Health, with NAMI, Evolution Foundation. Who am I leaving out here? There's another one.
Parents Helping Parents.
I said that one first, I
Sooner
think.
Success?
No, I don't think they're
No?
helping us with this one, but they are a great partner.
You got them all. There's just 5. You got them all.
Okay. But we do things like this with different partners, or if it's something that's out of our reach to serve a family, we connect that family with different agencies too. We don't keep families just to ourselves. We help them as much as we can. And then, we bring other, I'm going to call her out because I see her on here, the my Sooner Success rep in my area is Stephanie Red Elk, and she's on right now. And you know, Joni mentioned something to me the other day about her being a partner. I was like, I didn't even think about her because Stephanie's my friend. I mean, I'll text her, I see stuff on Facebook because we work together, and she'll call me on situations that she has. I call her. We're in Southwest Oklahoma, and we're the dynamic duo down here. So we get things done together, and there's no other way that we could do it unless we had each other to lean on down here. So I mean, we love to partner with different agencies. So.
And Terry, since we have about 20 minutes left, I might just bring to everyone's attention, this document was in your packet, and it's a caregiver bingo. And we thought it might be good if we all just kind of review that, because the focus of the next today and tomorrow, for the 4 sessions each day, is really focusing on how we can ensure that every day, we do something to make sure we're the moms and we're the dads and we're the grandparents and we're the foster parents that we need to be. And the only way we can do that is by what we call self-care, or just taking care of ourselves, taking a little break now and then. And so, I think what would be great is if we all just look at those, because there are little things that each of us can do. For instance, for me, during kind of stressful periods, like last night before I went to bed, because I could think of about 40 million things that I hadn't done or wish I'd done, or I didn't do them right. And so people got emails this morning that had the youth agenda instead of the caregiver agenda. I don't know if you all noticed that, but you got about 3 emails. I could not get that silly Eventbrite to save my email, so it was sending them out wrong. But anyway, if you look at that, probably my number one way that I self-care is by taking a hot bath. And one of the fun events that Terry hosted, so just to give you an idea of other things that we do, Terry hosted 2 events, and we actually made bath salts that had essential oils in them. And so I took a little cup of those essential oil infused bath salts and put them in my bath water and took a hot bath last night. So looks like Kim has something she wanted to add.
Oh, no, I was just clapping
You're
to
clapping.
the bath salt.
I didn't
to
catch
the
that.
bath salt activity, because I got a chance to participate in
Yeah,
that
was
and
fun.
really
Enjoy
enjoyed
that
that.
one too.
And boy, it was awesome because your room was smelling really good. But, if you'll look at that self-care bingo and just think about taking a break from social media, or for me, it's not watching the news. If I don't, I'd catch the weather on my app. Kelly's got the stress bottle. That's another session that we've done for some. But just taking a little break now and then so that you can be the mom, or you can be the dad, or you can be the foster parent, or the grandparent raising a grandchild, that you want to be.
The virtual teacher
Uh,
or the homeschool teacher.
I don't know how you all are doing this. I said a number of times to my husband, if this had happened when my son was in 1st or 2nd grade and his sister was in middle school, I can't imagine. It wouldn't be pretty. You guys are my heroes. We've talked about a lot of heroes during COVID, but for me, it's those of you that are schooling your kids and everything else. But why don't we open it up a little bit? Kelly, what's something that you do that really helps encourage you or kind of keep you going every day? Looks like you have something you might can share.
Yes, I was going to share that I just put it on my lanyard, on my name tag.
That.
Oh,
So-
that's good.
Good reminder.
So that I can remind myself. And then as I see people throughout the day, parents, coworkers, you guys, what is that on your badge, And then you can say, oh, well, this is mine, blah, 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 blah. I think that's a great idea. These are really cute. This is really cool. I like it. I like that Terry said that for the grandparents I have a grandmother that's in, a nursing home, and it's hard for us because the last time we saw her through the window was Halloween, and I think I'm going to do a project with my family at Christmas when we're all together, not together, and make one for her. I think that's going to be good. And then another thing I was going to ask as a provider for my families, do you guys know, I know this is not mentioned very often, I haven't heard it anyways, of a support group for the LGBTQ groups? And where do
There's
we find
actually,
them?
and I'll get that information to you, Kelly, but I know that her name is Chris Williams and she is with Cedar Ridge. And she had 2 or 3 of them because she had an LGBT group and then she had specific transgender group. Whenever I met her, they were actually working on a very state of the art, only of its kind, LGBT, I guess, floor at Cedar Ridge to be able to serve those kids. And they were also going to have outpatient and inpatient services for those.
Okay, that's awesome. But what about also for the parents? Because the parents,
I don't know. I could
Over
ask her
the-
that, but you know what? I have a friend I would love to connect you with, because when we did those presentations at Lawton,
Mhm.
that was a big session that they wanted, was information on LGBTQ. And I had Chris Williams, which she's married, and she is, I can't remember how she described herself, but she is lesbian, but she's a big advocate, and she's actually helped with legislation policy. And I know she's worked with the Department of Mental Health on things. And then Michelle, who was another one of the presenters, she actually did a presentation from the parents' perspective, because she had a son who was born her daughter. And so as a parent, she had to learn to accept that. And so
Right,
she
the
did a presentation
educational
on that.
portion.
And
Yes,
she does have support resources for parents. So I will connect you
Yeah.
with those.
please do. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl has put a comment in here. It's called Nest. Cheryl, can you unmute and expound a little bit on that? Is that a group that you know about? Or is that speaking to something else that you've written in the chat? Well, we can get some more information and look and see if we can find
Well,
something.
This is Rachel Michael, and the Nest, it is a program, I think, at Cedar Ridge that Chris had part in. And yes, Terry, you're right. She is like the guru of the LGBTQ community to help, link parents and children with. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a really good program. And then Chris has like a printout of resources and stuff. I attended a training with her and her wife that they put on that was wonderful. So if they have another one of those trainings, I suggest everyone. I mean, it's an amazing program.
And
that they've
I
got
know
going
she's
on.
done 2 trainings online just since COVID has started, because
Yes.
I haven't got to attend one, but I know I really wanted to go to the last one that she hadn't. I had a scheduling conflict with it, so I wasn't
Yeah.
able to go.
Very informative. Very informative.
And I might just say very quickly, we've had a few people that joined us a little bit late. We finished a little early, so we're just offering the opportunity for people to ask questions. We have a lot of really smart people on this session today, a number from Sooner Success and from systems of care teams and several of our staff. So if you're looking for a resource or some type of specific support, we're glad for you to post questions. If you got on late and you kind of missed the bulk of the session on the Hope Ring, we'll be repeating this session tomorrow. Terry, is it the 7 o'clock time? Let me look.
Hey, Joni, while you're looking that up, we actually have a question. Samantha, if I could ask you to unmute and proceed with your question, please.
I actually forgot what I was gonna ask.
No worries, no worries. If it comes back, just let me know.
I'm sorry, we didn't see that. The next Hope Ring session is tomorrow from 3 to 4 p.m.
I
So
just want to jump in and thank you all for putting this on. At first, it was just kind of, I had the Hope Ring, but as you were talking, I am getting ready to go visit one of my dearest friends who was taken to the hospital a few days ago with COVID. And so I took the rings that you sent, and while you were talking, I've printed off some pictures of her and my
Aw.
daughter and our family. And so I have officially got her a Hope Ring now.
Oh, that's
That I'm going to
awesome.
take and leave at the front entry there and because they'll deliver to her room. So thank you guys. That was a great idea.
pretty
I'm glad.
simple. I mean, you could do it a lot of different ways. I love that, Andrea. You already did one.
Mhm.
If anyone didn't get a packet and you would like to have an envelope that has just the starter ring with a few ribbons and a few cards with just encouraging notes, if you'll either private message Kimberly Miller or Joni Bruce, we'll be glad to pop one of those in the mail, because I mentioned earlier, Jesse made 200 for us, and I think we're doing it 3 times, but we did not give all 200 out. I still have probably 25 or so that we didn't ship. And we're
And I
glad-
have more, Joni.
Okay, good. You did a yeoman's work. She made a bunch of them.
Does anybody
I
have
was-
any? Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Terry, I was gonna say, these Hope Rings, I don't know if there are any foster parents in here, but this would be something very, because I know as a foster parent, they teach you to make life books for the kids. Well, you have foster kids, bio kids, families, you don't have time to make a life book. So this would be a life book in its simplest form for the kid, to take to their next home or to go back home to their families with. So
Hey, Joni, this is Tammy, and I just wanted to say that I'm really thinking about doing this with my birth parent support group, because they really need to see when they're making progress. So I think that by using these in my group, that they will see where they came from, and it will encourage them to keep making more process.
And I think what Amy said earlier is a great idea, and I've never even thought about that, like writing a goal on one side or something that's going on right now. And then on the back side, when it's, what the outcome is, or like when they've accomplished that goal. I think that's such a great idea, and I never even thought about that. But that's why we do this, so we can kind of talk, and everybody has different ideas and get more information. You guys are just making this better.
Another idea that came to mind while Tammy was talking, Tammy has a support group for moms that are working toward reunifying with their children that have had, trauma in their lives or that sort of thing. So the child is actually in custody with a foster family or a kinship placement. And Tammy, you could even, with your birth families, they could create them and then give them to the children during one of their visits. And that would probably be real meaningful, just so that child has that and their mom made it for them or their dad made it for them would be kind of.
I think that's a great idea.
It's 10 till, Terry. I just wanted to make you aware and just let you know.
We're just wrapping up with questions, and I'm pretty much done. I've just been kind of trying to kill some more time and fill the space and, make it meaningful. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if anybody has any questions, just feel free to
So I think I
email.
am seeing a few hands raised. So Samantha, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, if y'all don't know, there's this motivational speaker called Darman. He's all over Facebook and Instagram and all that, and he sends out great he sends out messages every day with great motivation on them.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, thanks
So,
for sharing that.
yeah.
Everybody needs a little encouragement right now.
hmm
And when you say Darman, can you spell? Is it like DARMAN?
Let me.
I guess I saw some heads nodding that said they were familiar. So I guess I'm just kind of, I want to look it up.
Do you have the number to text, Sam? We could put it in the chat box.
Ah,
Yeah, it's DHARMANN.
perfect. Thank you so much.
That's his page. And he has it on there to where you can text him.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Sam.
Megan, did you have a question as well? I thought I saw you waving your hand. Okay.
No, just listening. Thank you.
Well, I'd say just give them back 7 minutes of their day, Terry.
There you go.
Hey, before we end, I have one question because I am trying to put it together. Is the idea to tie the ribbon around the ring or to hole punch and kind of enter it that way? You're
Mine
doing
are
it both
tied.
ways. Okay.
Mine are tied, but you could do it either way.
Okay.
I had never even thought about hole punching it, but for this bigger tiger ribbon, that would probably be a better option for me.
I like. Okay.
There's also some samples on Pinterest too. Heather put in the chat a link to that. And so you can check that out too. But again, remember this is individual. So you can do that however. I mean, you can, weave it through and tie it, or you can hole punch it or wrap it around and hot glue it, or really just, it's really whatever you would like to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. And one thing that I will kind of add and share before, well, I see most of us have kind of started to get off, but we will be sending out a survey following the retreat. It will be a short survey that we want to hear from you. We want to get your feedback on what you liked and what type of topics you would be interested in hearing. Because one thing that we do is we enjoy putting these conferences on and like to hear from you as to what it is you're wanting to hear. So if you will participate, and it is a survey where you can complete it anonymously, but it does give you an option where you can put an email in. If you will enter your email, you will have a chance to enter some drawings for some pretty awesome door prizes. So wanted to kind of remind everyone of that. So be looking for that. We'll be sending that information out to your email that you registered with. Okay, other than that, Elephant, any other things you want to leave the team with or leave the group with?
I don't think so, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the retreat. And there's intentional breaks in between each session, so you guys can take a break, get away from the computer screen. We don't want you to be over Zoomed at all. And it's possible. It's very possible. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.